Hey, what's up guys? I'm Handy and I'm a CC speedrunner. With the amount of new runners with interest in getting into CC, especially with the new introduction of an official leaderboard for Links 2% being added, essentially a shorter run that can be used to learn the full run, I've noticed that a lot of people either don't understand that the AP system even exists, or if they know it exists, they don't fully get the ins and outs of how to use it for the run. So I figured that I would take the explanations already written down in most notes and explain them here verbally with examples to hopefully help people learn. Okay, so first off, what is AP might be the first question that comes to mind. AP stands for action points. An action point is basically what it sounds like. It's a counter for every action you take. So if you do a 1 from the attack menu, it costs 1 AP. A 2 will cost 2 AP, and a 3 will cost 3 AP. Pretty simple. The one that might throw someone off is the idea that an element also only costs 1 AP. Note that this is different than stamina. You'll see that using an element will subtract 7 stamina from the user. Lastly, defending. Defending also only costs 1 AP. So now that you know what AP is and what costs what amount of AP, the next question is probably, why does it matter? Or how do I make use of that info? Well, if you've even played Chrono Cross casually, you'll notice that compared to a lot of other RPGs of the era, Chrono Cross doesn't pass turns through an ATB system or something like it. The AP system is how the game handles whose turn it is out of your party and in enemies. So what this means is that we have an AP stat that we know for all enemies in the game. This helps us determine how to structure strats to optimize fights in the run. With all that explained, let's get to explaining some rules of the battle with AP. The first rule is basically the golden rule for AP. In basically any notes you have, you'll have an AP written for that fight. So if this value reads X amount of AP, then you can be sure that that enemy will never roll underneath that value on any turn in the fight. There is one major exception to the rule, and there's one minor additional aspect to that rule as well. Let's explain the minor addition first. So if an enemy has 8 AP, this is just an example, that means that yes, it is true that on no turn will that enemy roll lower than 8 AP. However, that value is essentially a floor value, meaning that an enemy can roll a bit above it. Using the 8 AP example, you could think of a 9 roll or a 10 roll as just charity AP in most cases. For the most part, you can always just aim for the AP value listed, especially if you're new. Now, the major exception I'd mentioned prior is absolutely something to remember. The golden rule on the floor AP is not true on the opening turns of fights. Regular enemies can 0 roll you, meaning that they start the fight with their turn, and bosses can 1 roll you, but however, they will never start the fight. To specify, on the opening turn of any battle, enemies can roll a 0, or a 1 if it's a boss, up to that AP value given, plus the bit of charity. So for opening turns, the formula given for what an enemy can roll is 0 or 1, depending on the thing we mentioned earlier, up to 4 AP plus 4 AP divided by 4. For example, let's take that AP example from earlier. This means on the opening turn, the enemy can roll from 0 or 1 up to 8 plus 8 divided by 4, or rather 0 or 1 up to 10. So that formula is for opening turns. On every other turn, the formula is the same, but instead of dividing by 4, it's division by 2. Thus, being able to roll a higher ceiling AP on the turns that are not the opening. Okay, now with all that out of the way, let's get into examples. Okay, so for an example fight, I think to show off some of the mechanics, I decided to use the Marcy fight here. So bear with me on loading states and everything like that. I feel like this on emulator is probably the best way to explain and show some of this. Okay, so in our notes, we'll see that Marcy has 7 AP. I'm going to explain and show examples of the opening AP after I show this. I figure that's probably a better way to format it. You'll see that I already did the opening turn. I did, you see Surge is at 0 stamina. It's because we opened up with 3-3. We'll get to that in a minute. But right now, Marcy had just gone. So that means we have 7 AP to work with. So let me show you what this means. So I'm going to go over here. She has 7 AP. So we're just going to do 2, 2, 2. And then if she rolls exactly 7, she should go right here after this. She did. Okay, see? That's because she didn't roll any charitable AP. And that's fine. That's usually what we aim for. The way to be consistent in the run is that we don't really expect them to give us the good roll. We just kind of expect them to roll their minimum value. Let's see if she goes at 7 again. She did. Okay. Right here, she's doing cat's cradle because we hit a flag, but that's not really important to this tutorial. We'll get to that later. All right, at some point in the future. But okay, I think you understand basically like when a person's going to go and what that AP value means. It means, I guess I could explain. Okay, so that was just with attacks. So let's do it this way. If I do a 3-3 It doesn't matter that it missed. She'll go after, you know, whatever the next attack is. An element will also cost 1, so she would go after this regardless. If she doesn't roll higher, like an 8 or a 9 or something. Let's see if she goes. See, okay, this is the case where she rolled like 1 bit higher. So, I mean, or maybe 2. I'm not exactly sure. But that does show that, you know, most of the time they're gonna roll their floor value, but they can roll a little bit higher. Okay, so I'm gonna load the state again because she was about to ice blast. Okay, so let's explain something of how we abuse using AP in this in the game. So I just explained that she would go at right like on the next turn here. We just did 6 AP, but let me show you something. We would never do this with Pierre, but because she's at 7, she has 7 AP and she's got basically 1 AP left. We could, you know, we could do a 1. Let me make a save state real quick. Let me make a save state here. We'll do Shift F5. Okay, let me do a 1. Yeah, see, she went right there, right? Okay, cool, she went. Now, what that means is we don't necessarily have to do a 1. We could even do a 2. She's gonna go. And guess what? We don't lose any benefit from swinging the 2 there. She still goes to 0 and the same thing. So you would imagine that that means that in a lot of cases, we can build up to 1 less than whatever that floor value is, and then try to push our luck. Because by doing a 3 here, with a character who does a lot of strength, we would normally do, you know, a good amount of damage, more than we would so with a 1. So we're kind of squeezing out a lot of stuff there. And in case you aren't fully aware with Chrono Cross systems, look at Kid's health here. I mean, Kid's stamina here. She's at 4.6. If I do a 3, she refreshes a 7. So anytime we're using extra stamina, she like it helps refresh our party members. So the way we really abuse this is, let me load the save state beforehand, just so there's no confusion. So this is a save state where Marcy, once again, had just gone, right? We're gonna do, she's at 7 AP, we're gonna do 222. She's at 1 AP at least left. So what we're gonna do is you can buffer 2 moves together, and this is called stamina pushing. Whenever I swing here, okay, so this is actually gonna be the same save state. Let me make another save state, Shift S5. If I do a 3, you see a red bar pop up right there, and it goes gray, right? It goes gray. You saw that. I'll do it one more time just so we can see. Oh, whoops. It goes gray, right? That's actually important because we can do a thing called stamina pushing. So even though she's about to go, and we've already kind of made sense that, you know, if we can, it's good to swing at 3 because 1, we get the higher chance of doing more damage, even if it misses. Or, I mean, we get the higher chance of doing more damage, and even if it misses, then we can refresh the party members around us. So what this means is we can actually do something even better and buffer 2 moves together. You can't buffer 3 moves together. So if I did something like 222, even all the bars are there, it only does 2. You saw her interrupt the second one. So what we can do is we can actually min-max a lot of the fights by swinging 2 3s right here. She will not interrupt this. And then she'll go after. So that's how we structure a lot of the fights, is it refreshes a lot of your party members, you get the highest chance for swinging a lot of damage, etc., etc. Okay, so although it may seem out of order, now I'm going to do the opening turn for Marcy. And by the way, like I said, this works for all fights. This is just me using an example of, because Marcy is a fight that can really start messing people up because of people not understanding the AP system. So I feel it's kind of apt to use her as the example here. So, okay, we just explained that Marcy has 7 AP, and we also showed examples of her not going until at least after 7, right? But let's show the opening turn. She cannot 0 roll because she is counted as a boss. But let's see where she goes here. Actually, she rolled low. She can do something as low as that. That's actually a really good example, right? That's a really good example. And actually, I'll skip ahead real quick because I needed to make a save state prior to that, and I don't want to make you guys wait to see that. Okay, so I made a save state again, like I should have. And you just saw that she went at 1. That's actually a really good example. So I'll post a little bit of a clip of or a section of the notes up here for this fight. You'll see on the first turn, the opening turn, we have the buffered attack that I talked about in the last section to start this fight. And that's actually because we don't know what she's going to roll. We know that she can roll anywhere between 1 up to that point. So we start the fight with swinging 3-3 because if she does a 1, let's actually see if she does a 1 again, just for it helped this tutorial. Okay, it actually helps a lot because she rolled a 1 again, so you can actually see the dangers of something like that happening. So this is the same load, so that means she should roll a 1 again. So what we're gonna do is try to max this first turn out, and both hit. That's actually very good for us, right? We have strats for if we miss that or if we open and hit both of them. So let's actually just go through the next turn. So we just saw her go right there after that was actually 6. So that shows that she can still roll underneath that 7 in the opening turn, even with doing the 3-3. So let's do 2-2-2. I don't actually have the notes in front of me, but 2-2-2. And then we'll even do, I think it's 1-2. I'm doing this by memory. And she should go here. And that 1-2 is part of the buffer that we did, right? The reason we didn't do the 3-3 right there is because for this fight in particular, there is health flags that we're not trying to hit. So if we would have done a little bit more damage right there, she would have cat's cradled. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a 2-2 here. I'm just kind of going through actually a tutorial for this fight apparently. And then we're going to do, I think it's 2, pause, because we did 2-2, which is 4, 2, which is 6. So she has 1 left. So now we're going to stand push, 2-3. And we crit actually. So she's going to go cat's cradle here. And actually, because we crit there, she's actually already hit her next HP flag, which is if she gets another turn here, she will do Ice Blast, which is really bad. But we finished the fight early. I didn't even have to dash and slash. But you can see how knowing the AP or the AP values there can help you with fights.